This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all. So welcome to JMeter and Bean Chill session, right, with some real-time use cases. So it will be a small session, around 5 to 6 hour session, and prerequisite is that you should know the JMeter, okay, and how to design the cases and other thing, because those we are not covering. We are just we will be looking at how we can write some code to do some functionality, right? That's it. So this session is on that. Now a small introduction on Bean Shell, correct? So what is this Bean Shell? Bean Shell is a scripting language, right? And in a smaller definition, it is also known as light version of Java. Bean Shell is also known as light version of Java, or you can say lightweight scripting of Java, right? So it's a scripting language which internally includes all the Java libraries, and hence all Java related keywords and function can be used in Bean Shell script directly. So that is Bean Shell. Now Bean Shell is a component, or we can say element given in JMeter. And what internally it includes is it includes all the Java libraries. And yes, so that is what basically Java here. Okay, writing Java code and getting something done. Now, what is a scripting language, or what is the difference between a scripting language or normal programming language? So scripting language examples will be like Bean Shell, Groovy, Perl, JavaScript, VB script, Python. But Python is a exception. Okay, it's exception. I'll tell that. And normal programming language, we have like C, C++, .NET, Java, Python, and PHP. So here you can see Python comes in both category. It comes in scripting also and in programming language also. Now, what will be the real difference between them? This kind of language is the scripting language do not support the OOPS concept. Okay, they do not support, or basically dealing with the classes. That is what OOPS concept is. And except Python, because Python is a scripting and a development language both. Now this scripting language, or the scripting code that we write, basically the language, they do not require the compilation like our normal programming language they need. When we write any code in C, C++, Java, we compile that. Here they do not require any compilation. Directly they will give some input. And this scripting language cannot give, or you can say will not give any product standalone, except Python, since it is a development language also. But if you use just the scripting part of Python or all these scripting language examples, you cannot develop a product standalone. No product output we can get. They are just like a supportive language. So JavaScript, right? We may have heard it's a very like very famous supportive language for web design or front end of a website. But that using JavaScript, you cannot design a web page. You have to use HTML, and that along with that JavaScript is used. So that is the thing. Now, a normal syntax, like how we write a code in programming language. So let us say this is from C. We'll use has include and this C studio.h, right, libraries, and then main method, and then printf hello. But same format for printing a thing hello will be there is no such method, or no need to call the libraries. Directly you print the statement print hello. So simple and straightforward. Now why we use Bean Shell in JMeter, right? So to customize the script as per our requirement, because yes, many things are given in JMeter, but few things are not given. Many times we will stuck in some situation where uh, that functionality or that part is not given in JMeter, because JMeter is a good software, but it's a lightweight software, right? It doesn't have that much functionality also. So at that time we'll be writing some code. So to customize the script as per our now, what are the Bean Shell options available in JMeter? So Bean Shell sampler, Bean Shell preprocessor, Bean Shell postprocessor, Bean Shell assertion, timer, and listener. Correct. Now, uh, So these all are there. We'll just see them. Here bean cell sampler, then a preprocessor, post processor. So in every major element, one bean cell sub element is given. In assertion also bean cell assertion, right? And for timer also, you'll see in timer section also one bean cell timer, and in listener also one bean cell listener will be there. But we already have a wide range of timer and listener. So generally we'll be using these four. In a day-to-day project, these four will be required, right? So these are the components. Now any code that we write in bean cell sampler, so here we will be writing some code. This is the ID, we can say a small ID. And so if you write any code in bean cell sampler, it will execute. Okay, and obviously all will execute, but what is the difference here is that any code you write in bean cell sampler, that executes and it is shown in the result or in view result tree. Let us say here I have 4 components added, all bean cell only. If I run, only bean cell sampler will be shown in this view result tree. Others also execute, but they are not they execute in backend, or you can say they execute in the memory, but they are not shown in the uh, result. Okay. Now what is the difference between a sampler, preprocessor, postprocessor is assertion will come later. Assertion has a different use. So anything you write here that will execute as a request, and it will be displayed in the view result tree or in HTML report, wherever. Now the same code if you write in preprocessor, right? So preprocessor means what? Any element, any preprocessor element executes before the request, right? Before the request. So let us say we are doing some action. One HTTP request I'll be adding here. So let us say this is a request, any request, launch, login, or whatever request. Suppose login, right? Login request. Now before that we want to do some activity, right? So you can use this bean cell preprocessor inside this login, and you can write some code. So before login gets executed, this bean cell preprocessor will execute, and the things will be done, right? And then this request will execute. Same goes for post processor. Now what post processor element does? They execute after the request, right? After the request. So let us say this post processor you use inside login, and you write some code. So once this login request executes, after that this code will be executed and it will do its action, whatever it's meant for, right? So generally pre and post processor will be used. Sampler will not be used. Basically why? Because sampler acts as a request and it comes in the uh, uh, view result tree or in HTML report, and we do not write any code which goes as a request. We write the code for some extra functionality. Let us say login is there, right? And a successful login is happening. So I want to get that user details and put it in a CSV. So we cannot do using normal any of the normal functionality of the JMeter, whatever the JMeter has. So we'll be writing some code to print to capture those things and to print that in a file, right? A very good example. So sampler again, that will be I think it's not used, it will not be required. Those work can be done using preprocessor or post processor, right? Now assertion. So we have assertion element in JMeter. Response assertion is a very widely used assertion, right? Response assertion. Response assertion does what? It verifies the response. Whatever you give the value in that, it will be verified. But in bean cell, yeah. So that is what response assertion is, right? Now, suppose you have to do some. Okay, one more thing. So let us say in response assertion you have given some value. Assertion and response assertion. You have given some value here to be verified. When login will execute, response will come. This will be verified. If it is there, it will fail. Oh, sorry. If it is there, it will pass. If this value is not there, it will fail. right? Simple straightforward use. But what if I want to make this login request pass and fail based on certain condition, certain comparison or certain condition? Then this bean cell assertion will be used. In this also will be writing the same code, right? Same Java code here, but since the it's a assertion element, right? It's a assertion element, so its behavior will change, right? Its behavior will change. It will be used for verification. Now two more are there, like bean cell timer is there, bean cell listener is there. So generally that is not used because we have already a set of 6 to 7 timers, right, which serves their purpose, and listener we have so many listeners in JMeter, right? So more focus will be on these 4. Now in bean cell we have one more component called JSR223. Okay, and again every sub element has a JSR223 element. Every main element, we can say every main element has a JSR223 element. So here sampler, you can see your JSR223 sampler will be there here. Same goes for preprocessor or post processor, JSR223 preprocessor, JSR223 post processor, right? So if we see here also the ID is there, correct? Now uh, here also ID is there. Now what is the difference? ID means here also a space is given to write some code only. Now what is the difference between this? Let us take an example of bean cell post processor and this JSR223 post processor, right? So the basic, the main difference is, or we can say only difference is, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you're
yes.
clear.
Yes,
Okay,
Vallabh.
okay, thank you. So main difference between this bean cell uh, post processor or any bean cell element, you take any of these element, bean cell sampler, preprocessor, post processor, bean cell assertion, and comparison with JSR223 sampler or post processor or preprocessor, JSR223 preprocessor or JSR223 assertion. Also we have a JSR223 assertion as well, right? Assertion as well, right? So what is the difference between JSR223 and bean cell? The main difference is in bean cell you can only write Java code, because that is what the definition of bean shell, right? It's a lightweight version of Java, or we can say it's a scripting version of Java. Okay, scripting version. But here in JSR, JSR223, you can use other languages also. Like you can here, if you see by default in this language tab, if you see here Groovy is there, right? Groovy is also extended version of Java only. It's all it's a Java only. Okay, a extended version of Java we say. Apart from that, you can use Java also inside this Java script. You can also use this GXL3, GXL2, GXL3 are also language, and some other language also we can use. We can use Python also, right? Uh, a, a Python libraries used to come as a jar. We have to import that jar, and Python also we can use to write something or do some activity. So that is the only difference between Bean Cell and JSR223. In bean cell assertion or anything you take here, you do not find that attribute called language, right? Here no such attribute is there called language. But here in JSR223 you see one extra attribute is there, which is language. You select the language and based on that you write the code here. Correct? So that is the difference between these two. Now our session will be on bean cell, because Java is a very widely used language, and any code you find let us say you are not much in coding, but if you know the concept how to implement code, you can always face from Google. Most of the developer are doing that thing also, right? Let's take over for these websites where they will stuck, they will just search the Google, and they will implement the code. Just you should know how to implement the code. Codes are always there. Okay, now the beauty of bean cell, right? So since it is a scripting language that is developed in Java only, so it includes or it uses all the Java syntax, and means there is no need to call packages and other thing. They all will be executed dynamically. And next point is variables are declared as loose type, right? It means that there is no need to declare the type of variables. So we'll see this when we'll use a session, means when we'll do a real-time implementation. Then what is this loose type declaration, or how the variables are declared, or what is this no need of declaring the variable? What is that? We'll look into that. Now, when since Java libraries are internally included, 95% of times, in most of the cases, there is no need to call any Java package for any operation. Directly you do the operation, right? And directly you call the code, or write the code, and the things will be done. It means that here, if we consider this previous example, here let us say in a normal programming language we include, right, or we import the packages and then we write. But here directly you do, because packages will be already there, supported all packages. Some limitations of Bean Shell will be, okay, this limitation is everywhere. In JSR 223 the limitation is there. There is no dedicated information library available to get idea about using Bean Shell in JMeter. Okay, there is no dedicated forum or anything. If you go to the website of Bean Shell, it's a blank, nothing is there. Okay, beanshell.org or something, beanshell.org, right? So here you can see it's a lightweight scripting for Java, right? And it's a blank. This page is blank, and they have recently moved to GitHub Git URL. So let us click on this GitHub. A new URL will open. So here a small description they have given about Bean Shell and other thing. And on the main website here docs is there. Okay, so if you click on docs, PDF, intro, one page will come. Where is that? Just a second. Downloads. Yeah, so I think this is the page. Here you can have a look, like a little bit basic syntax, a scripting method, object. You can click on the links, and a small example will come, right? But basically will not. So this they have given in a general purpose use. Will not understand how we can use that in JMeter, because the examples, if you see, let us say you click on this exception handling thing, you read some one page about this exception handling, right? But here it's not no information related to how the things will be there in JMeter, right? Okay, you can Google it. I'm sharing even though in chat, right? So that is the thing. So this is the limitation, and this limitation is everywhere. Actually, it's not like that only for Bean Shell. Even that JSR 223 sampler we have seen, you want to use JavaScript or anything, you will not get a dedicated library or some page or some website where they will tell you how we can use that JavaScript in JMeter, or any code specifically designed for JMeter. So that is not there. Okay, then we can take help of some forums, right? That is what Google search, Stack Overflow, this kind of thing. But as I said, codes are already there, right? Every codes are there, but we should know how to implement, right? So here that will be session to know how to implement, right? And I have some use cases, real-time use cases. We'll be looking on that. And basically everything is Java only, core Java basically, right? So if you have a knowledge, it will be better. Even though it's not, uh, we have a basic knowledge of variables and other thing, it will be good to understand. Now, what are the examples I will be covering? I have made around 26 to 27 example. So we'll see at sampler, pre-processor, post-processor, and assertion, right? how the variable and integer things are called, or how they are defined. Correct. Then what is log, vars dot get, vars dot put, prev dot get, ctx dot get, and prop. So these are inbuilt methods, okay, in JMeter. So how to use them now? Using all these things, will do some activity, like let us say how we can print a value to JMeter log viewer or to a console, right? If a correlated value is there, how can we can print or write to a file? If multiple correlated values are there, how we can write to a file? How we can prepare the test data, right, for let us say user registration scenario is there, and website is there where you have many scenarios, right? Let us take a Flipkart. So first the user will register, they will obviously create exam, create their ID with Flipkart, right? Then only they can access Flipkart. So we will be running a load test for user registration, and we'll be registering more user, like 1000 2000 users, and same we'll be using in some other scenario. So how we can create a test data, right, for user registration. Also for how we can create a test data for successful transaction only, how we can do, not for failed one, right? Then let us say one example here, that you are doing a load test, right, and client has given you 5000 records, username and password, and manually if you want to verify each one whether all have access or not, so we cannot. It's a 5000 record, right? How we can do? So how we can take a help of JMeter? Because let us say what happens is, maybe client randomly they picks the value, and then they will give you to do the load test using this 5000 username and password. But maybe many of them will not be having valid credential, or they do not have authentication, right? Or we can say yeah, access, valid access. So when you run the load test, obviously where they will be logging to the application, that transaction will fail. So why not first filter out the success or the valid users from this 5000 user test data? So how we can do that? If you any user has booked an order, so what order he has picked, what order ID has been generated, how we can uh, uh, print to a file, right? Then how to do any mathematical operation using JMeter function or a Java code, that will be another example. Then string to integer conversion and integer to string conversion, this example, because this is the very important thing when we deal with any integer data and any string data. Okay. Then this one, right? This is a important scenario. Let us say we have a very uh, when we executed a transaction, right, and response came, we extracted the response using regular expression extractor, right, and multiple let me show you, and multiple values are coming, correct? Then how we can okay, so multiple values will be coming, and we'll be using regular expression to pick up any of the value using zero, right? And if we use -1 in regular expression, so it will become an array, right? If I give -1 here, so this will become an array. So how we can store all the values, all the match value in a single variable? Because if we use -1 over here, this CPET will become an array. This is a variable name, right? And the values will be looking like what? If I give -1 here, and let me use a debug sampler. Okay, infinity. So here, if you see, uh, since I've used CPET and their -1 I have given, so this is how the matches are stored: CPET 1, CPET 2, right? CPET 2, uh, CPET 3, and the value CPET 4, CPET 5, CPET 6. So single they are stored in array variables, right? CPET 1, CPET 2. But if we want to store all them in a single variable, then how we can do? So straightforward we cannot do. We have to write a code, right, for that. So that is also a scenario. Then how we can shuffle, right? So in an array, all the values are stored, all the picked value, all the matches, all the match value is stored. How we can shuffle them? If you want to remove anyone, how we can remove them? And how we can write all the matches to a file, correct? Then this example, let us say we extract a value, any value, right? It's a value, and this value is passing in the next request. So we have to remove any character or any space inside that value, or uh, replace any one character with another character. So how we can do that, correct? Then trimming and trimming the start and end spaces of a string, right? A string means again the value only. Here here string means the value, any value we extract. If any space is there in a start and end, how we can extract, because in next request that a space is not going, right? So we have to obviously trim that. This is trimming a string, correct? Trimming a string means let us say you extracted a string called or a value called elephant. In next value only ant is going on, and this is dynamic, right? This is next time here in place of elephant some another value will come. So how we can trim that, correct? Then uh, yeah, this is two examples of bean cell assertion we'll look at. The assertion we talked about, right? Based on some condition you want to fail a thing, right? Or make a request pass or fail, then how we can do that, failing a passing a request based on certain condition. So example of bean cell assertion. Then how we can store whole response to a variable, right? Or how we can store a single value to of a response to a variable. Sometime in response only one values come, whole response will be blank, only one value will be coming. How we can extract that and how we can store that in a variable, right? Creating deleting files and folders. So this is a simple topic, right? Then how to pass one variable from one thread group to another thread group, right? Using set property and props methods. Then we'll look at conditional use of if controller, real-time use, while controller, and switch controller. Right? And using these controllers only, we'll look at a few of these use cases. Again, these all 4 use cases. First use cases, let us say one transaction is there, correct? Suppose transaction is T01 launch, or let me show here. Suppose this launch transaction is there, right? Sometime and let us say application is not stable. So what will happen? This when you run the load test, this launch will pass, means it will be valid. Everything will be fine. It will pass. Sometimes since application is not stable, it will fail, right? So if it fails, it should relaunch itself or re-execute itself. Again, in next loop, let us say uh, in first when you started the test, this launch got executed. If it pass, fine, it will go to next transaction and other will be executed. But let us say when you started the test and this launch got executed, it failed. It should re-execute itself, and again it's failed. Then again it should re-execute itself, and it should keep on executing itself until unless it comes with a pass status. Pass means the green status, right? So how we can design that? Then some other are like for an application, let us say here one demo application is there. So These all are interview questions actually, because in most of company, if you go nowadays, they will give you lab test or what system test, right? They will, instead of asking interview question, they will give you a laptop or thing. They will give you a demo application, and they will ask you to script depending on certain condition, right? So scripting will not be very straightforward. Some condition they will put, and they will ask you to script this and show us, right? So for that only, let us say here we are booking item called fish, and a sub item is there. Let us say goldfish. Then one more item called two types of goldfish are there. We'll select that, and then we'll click on add to cart. After that, he will click on proceed to checkout, right? And he will fill the login detail, and then he will book the product. He will, after logging in, he will he will fill the payment details, and item will be booked. This is the scenario on Flipkart also, right? Flipkart or Amazon we widely use. So you will go, you will browse a product, you will select a product, and then you will put it into cart, right? And then you log in, and then um, you will put the payment details and address, and then done, right? Now here the scenario is, let us say if the subtotal value, or we can say total value in the shopping cart or add to cart is greater than 100, okay, greater than equal to 100, then only this user will do proceed to checkout, and he will go and book the details. Otherwise, if it is less than 100 is a given value given by interviewer, assume that, right? Till then he should re-loop, and he should keep on adding carts in his adding products in his cart, right, till that total value becomes 100. So let us say again go to main menu, select some product, then pick another product, then select a type, then add to cart. So now total value has become 160. So if this is satisfying the condition, right, greater than equal to the given value 100, then he will go and do the proceed to checkout. So how we can achieve that? If we again it's not equal to 100, he will again book product. Same another example on that, this third one, means the 26 number. Let us say the item that is getting picked, this should not be less than or equal to or greater than equal to a given value. Suppose $30, I am saying, right? A given value is $30. So the item that is picked, let us say first item it has picked is $5, but it should not be less than $30. Then only it should pick an item. Otherwise, again it will reloop and select a item which is greater than $30, and then only he will add it to cart, right? He will add it to cart, and then you do the proceed to checkout. So these are the three like real-time conditional based scripting, and switch controller also, using switch controller. So switch controller, how it will be used? Let us say some condition has happened. Based on that, you executed sign out. Right? Let us say one condition has happened, and you have to execute sign out transaction directly. Correct? How you can do that? Or again, some condition has happened, and based on that, you have to execute all other thing. So how we can do that? So this will be done using switch controller. So this all will see, and one more will be, I think. Yes, these are a few more. If I'll look into that. If you people have any such scenario, we can discuss. So these are the things for this bean cell session, right? We'll start from tomorrow, and yeah, we'll first look into this. Uh, we'll start from these variables, then we'll slowly cover all these topics, and we'll see how we can do how we can integrate the JMeter inbuilt functions with Java, and how we can do some actions, right? All this scenario, and so that next time any scenario comes to us, we can always think like a developer. And if you know how to implement code, if you are a good Java developer or you know core Java, it's good. Otherwise, code you can search. Just you have to know the implementation, right? And you can do anything uh, going forward in the requirement of writing any conditional based execution or yes. using a bean shell. Right. So any questions?
Yeah, well, by this side. So, like after completing this course, like any document or recorded video or like any other documents you guys are providing?
Video will be given. See, for bean shell, as I said, no documents, right? So script I'll give, which will be prepared. The codes that will write, those will be given. The video will be given.
Okay, like all like 6 hour, 6 hour, whatever video, whatever discussion we had. So those will record it and those will provide to us.
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
This is also getting recorded. It will be uploaded on YouTube.
Hi, Vallabh. Vallabh, I'm basically from testing background. I know JMeter. Means I launched the JMeter. I know how to get request and response. It is means the advanced level of JMeter, like bean shells and all this.
No. Advanced JMeter is many things. This is only the bean shell part of JMeter. If you want to learn,
Okay, bean shell part. Because I
yeah,
haven't heard regarding this part. So I forgot something. But I know what is JMeter. Okay. For
yes,
it will be helpful for testing background people also.
yes.
Hello.
See,
Hello.
hello.
Will it be helpful for testing background?
Yeah,
Yeah, it will be helpful for testing background.
I'm replying. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm replying.
Ask.
I'm replying. Just a second. So see, not related. If you know JMeter and if you want to do this activity, because these activities are needed, writing a bean shell, or if you go to interview also, they are asking, have you written some code? Do you know bean shell? Correct. So
Yeah.
you should know JMeter, and if you want to get the part of JMeter, then this thing is there.
Okay.
Hey, Vallabh, when this training will start, from tomorrow or from next Saturday? And what are timings?
3 hour on Saturday, Sunday, 3 hour. Timing in day. 11, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Or 1.5 hour we can do in day, or 1.5 hour in evening also. Like that, we'll see how many people are joining. Okay.
It will start from next Saturday.
I'm planning from tomorrow only. But we'll see if I
Okay.
get a good people. We'll start from tomorrow or from next Saturday. We'll update in group.
Yeah, thanks.
Vallabh, I have a question. So total, how many hours the session will be, complete session? And second is that, is this session covering only bean shell or other jails are 2 to 3 as well?
No, only bean shell. And it will be 5 to 6 hours. Because again, for GSR 2 to 3, again, I have to use Groovy. So I do not have much on hands-on Groovy, right? Or I have to use Python. So basically, Java is most commonly language. So we'll be using Java only. That is what bean shell.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So anything else? Any other query you have related to JMeter or these topics?
No.
Okay, so thank you everyone, right, for attending. We'll update the status in group, and yes, thanks again.